going to be split topics in today's video. First, I'm going to look at the wounds that the nuns get that give them power in the Trench Crusade law, and then we're going to look at why God could have taken the city of Argos. I've got another theory on that might be fun to listen to. So, welcome back to the trenches, and let's begin. I wanted to do a video about the Stigmatic Nuns, trying to make sense and understand their abilities within the law. It states these nuns are holy sisters who manifest wounds to match those of the third Metachrist, whom they venerate, as with each bleeding wound that they suffer, it makes them stronger, as their devotion to suffering, as their Lord once did, gives them strength. It's the stigmata part that I wanted to look deeper into. Thinking about the wounds, the Britannica says stigmata in Christian mysticism are bodily marks, scars or pains corresponding to those of the crucified Jesus Christ, that is, on the hands, on the feet, near the heart, and sometimes on the head from the crown of thorns, or shoulders and back from carrying the cross and scourging. They are often presumed to accompany religious ecstasy. A stigmatic person may temporarily or permanently have one or more of these wounds or marks, which may be visible or invisible to others. According to the Roman Catholic Church, the presence of stigmata is a sign of mystical union with the suffering of Christ, and a genuine stigmatic must have lived a life of heroic virtue. So perhaps it's that mythical union with the Metachrist who acts like a patron for them, and when their wounds increase, that invokes that synergy with him and increases the abilities of the nuns. The one difference I would sensibly make is that the wounds inflicted by whoever the nuns are fighting are not going to be the same as the ones that were given to the Redeemer, and that the Metachrist has through association. So say wound of the head might invoke the crown of thorns, but it would not be in the exact same place. It just makes sense that's what I'm trying to say. Now, it's said that the nuns specifically venerate the third Metachrist, so my question would be, where did his wounds come from? He's not been through that same experience as the Redeemer, if he is a clone as many think that he is. Where would he share the wounds? Wouldn't he be hale and hearty? Or would these clones, would that origin, that DNA, tell of the origin of the genes and just the link back to the Redeemer? This might tend to the Passion. This is according to the BBC, the story of Jesus Christ, arrest, trial and suffering. The word passion comes from the Latin word for suffering. Also they are tied via the third Metachrist, genetic suffering, to the Redeemer, that tie-in. And now, in the court of the seven-headed serpent, users of that sort of magic that is powered by suffering. And I theorised in a previous video that the church might also draw from this source. I've come around with that a little bit. I think if it fits that the court makes others suffering, that powers their abilities. And I think the church may draw from that same divine power, but in a slightly different way. It's more selfless for a higher cause, whereas the court's actions are more self-focused. Just a little wrinkle in my thoughts on that one. And the nice real-world tie-in. According to this Smithsonian magazine, the ratio of stigmata has changed. Overall, the vast majority have always been women, 353 compared to the 54 for men, a ratio of almost 7-1. Though for context, it goes on to say that the number in the ladies column has grown over time. Now, the first example of stigmata occurred in St. Francis of Assisi, while in his cell on Mount Alvano in 1224. Pondering on the suffering of Christ, Francis was purportedly visited by a seraph, a type of angel. The seraph is considered amongst the highest ranking and usually has 6 wings. The angel produced upon his body the 5 wounds of Christ. Pope Alexander IV and others attested that they had seen these markings, both before and after Francis's death. The divinely attested sanctity of its founder gave to the newly established order of Franciscans a powerful impulse. Now the law line, jumping over to the subject, is that in 1477 the city of Argos is taken by God and is no more. This is my current theory on the idea within the law. Jerusalem has already been destroyed by the opening of the gates, which started the things. So what if Argos, for its holiness, might have been taken in its place? According to some beliefs, Zion, a city, was taken up into heaven by God. This city was associated with Enoch, who built the city. I'm sure he had help, he didn't do it by himself. Not a solo run on building a city, I think. Anyway, Enoch himself was descended from Adam, of Adam and Eve fame, and Noah, of Noah's Ark notoriety, and was taken into heaven as well. What if Argos was some echo of that, a place of such faith that the Creator saved it, in case it might fall to the forces of the seven-headed serpent, and Zion was another name for the city of Jerusalem and its Temple Mount, so that would make Argos a replacement for that place. But why take it? Now we're getting into very headcanon territory here, but I'm just going to roll with it. New Testament prophecies foretold that the Lord would one day create the heavens and the world anew. As part of this new creation, a city of God, referred to as New Jerusalem, would come. Down from God out of heaven, the city's walls were made of jasper, and the city's foundations adorned with stones, and the city's gates are pearls. The streets are paved with gold, and the Creator's power lights it, and it will contain the tree of life and the river of life. The tree will give life and healing, and the city will be a place of peace. So, my wild theory is that Argos will take the place of New Jerusalem and be returned to earth as a fortress against the powers of the court who are fighting against God's creation's humanity. It's a heavenly fortress on earth to support the forces of the church and could return to rally those forces. That's my wild theory. And maybe those inside the fortress have also been altered, enhanced directly by the Creator, with many eyes to watch and wings to fly, perhaps something like that, but still human enough to not contravene the covenant of hell, whereby direct angels can't come to earth on either side for fear of damaging what the Creator has wrought. But why does this event occur? Why do it? Because time within hell is flexible, so it's only a matter of time before hell will win. I mean, looking at the recent map, they've got a long way to go, but humanity's time is finite. Their lives are short, whereas they can just keep bringing out demons from hell, and the time there means that they can keep stockpiling them and bringing them out. Just a bit of a thought anyway, and so it's only a matter of time before hell will win. Now, I have a few characters within the law that I've not covered, and I'm going to cover one here. The Communicant anti-tank hunter. Now, communicants are partakers of the experimental chemical communion, the blood and flesh harvested from a metachrist by the Mendelist monks and applied to the genome of volunteers. The most holy and pious of the church are chosen to partake of the experimental communion, going through many biological changes to become larger and more durable, greatly enhancing their effectiveness on the battlefield. Their divinely enhanced strength allows them to carry and shoot massive anti-material guns as easily as a normal soldier would wield a simple rifle. The church is uncertain. Just listening back to it, I didn't mean to say that, I meant to say the process is uncertain. However, with the possibility for unpredictable side effects, some lose their ability to speak or their higher brain functions, becoming distracted by the heavenly choir only they can hear, requiring exact commands from their handlers. Because the church consistently needs funds to sustain its military operation, communicants are frequently allocated to the highest bidders amongst the armies affiliated with New Antioch. Their services are in constant demand as they are able to take out enemy fighting vehicles, heavily armoured troops and strong points with a single shot. So let me know what you think to this theory in the comments. Does any of it hold up? I like this current Argos theory, but the reasons behind it I'm not sure of, to be honest, but I just thought I'd put it out there. And if you like this video on the Trench Crusade, then you might also like this one. And if you want a whole bunch of straight lore and theories, then why not try the Trench Crusade playlist on the channel. Amongst other random things I'd fancy covering, the other bit of lore I cover frequently is 40k, which is usually one a week, but I'm trying to up that. It has two playlists, one on everything and one on the dark age of technology, which is a pet and very much a favourite subject of mine to talk about within the 40k lore. So drop me a comment down below, let me know what you think to the video, let me know what else you might like me to cover, because I'm always up for suggestions if they intrigue me as well. And I'll wrap it up there. Thanks for listening.